Save 10% with my code BOBBY10 on raw, organic, grass-fed and grass-finished, freeze-dried organ meats from Grassland Nutrition. Link in the description box. Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new, my name is Bobby. Guys, finally we're gonna explore the warrior spirit of Islam. I already hear the liberals screaming and shouting. They are all so scared of evil Islam. Did you hear there is such a thing as jihad? Wow, what a surprise. I never heard a nation, for example the USA, having an army. Very strange concept. You're gonna tell me that there are men out there defending what they believe? Wow, it is absolutely pathetic to see that grown men on the anti-Islam front will use war as an argument against Islam. This just shows how feminized those people have become. Today we're gonna react to Meet the Third Greatest General in History Who Ever Lived by the channel Simply Explained. This is a video about Khalid ibn al-Walid, also known as the Sword of Allah. I cannot wait to watch this video. With no further ado, let's have a look.
Khalid ibn al-Walid is widely known for being an Arab Muslim commander. While we still don't know when he was born exactly, the date of his death is 642, since it was recorded in writing. With that being said,
which movie is that?
He played a significant role in things like the Ridda Wars or the Byzantine Syria battles. He was not a wealthy man, but he had a very
Guys, if you know which movie this is, please let me know in the comment section. I would love to watch this.
Good eye for doing the right thing and truly pushing the boundaries and coming up with creative ways to show off his craft. Khalid ibn al-Walid's father was an arbitrator. He was managing local disputes in Hijaz. He was part of the Banu Mikzam, which was a clan pertaining to the Quraysh tribe. It was also pertaining to the aristocracy, albeit the one before the Islamic era. With that in mind, his tribe was credited for a variety of things. They were the ones that added Meccan commerce to people from other markets. They were also wealthy. They were noble and extremely intelligent. Khalid ibn al-Walid's father, in particular, was highly regarded as a powerful man with a really good standing. The same can be said about Khalid too. Even from his early days.
I watched the movie The Message, and in that movie he was shown as well, so I saw his background, that he was opposed to Islam, that he hated Islam, that he came from a wealthy family, but then in the end he accepted Islam and fought on the side of Muhammad.
Very good image within the entire clan. The interesting thing about his tribe is that they were opposed to Muhammad in the beginning.
Exactly.
In fact, his first cousin that was the leader of the clan was boycotting the Muhammad clan. Actually, their tribe entered a war against Muhammad. At that time, Muhammad went from Mecca towards Medina in 622. Eventually, they entered the Battle of Badr in 624. A few weeks after the battle, the paternal cousins of Khalid ibn al-Walid were mostly killed during the entire process. The next year after that, Khalid...
Watching this, I can't help but think how people will glorify the samurais, the Vikings, the Roman Empire and what not. They will look at those men and will be in awe.
Oh, what kind of heroes!
But looking at the Muslims, bad jihadis.
Son of Abu
It's a double
Jahl
standard.
entered the
Doesn't make
Battle
sense.
of Uhud towards the northern part of Medina. The interesting thing is that we got to see Khalid's tactics in action. Instead of attacking them from the front, they ended up attacking by going around the mountain and bypassing the flank of Muslims. After going forward, the Muslims ended up getting advantage because they had archers on the Mount Ruma. But despite the early advantage, they did not end up winning everything. After the archers went to join the others, Khalid ended up charging against the rear defensive part. That's when they managed to eliminate quite a lot of the army. Many credit Khalid for being a military genius because he managed to pull off this kind of attack. It was definitely something different and certainly unseen until that point.
Wow.
But that's what managed to make this entire approach unique, and they really managed to pull that off without any issues. Muhammad and some followers went to Mecca in order to do the Umrah, and he did not confront Khalid. Instead, took a more difficult route. Khalid went to Mecca, and eventually they ended up with a truce in 628. It was a rather tough time, but a very important step, all thanks to the Treaty of Hudaybiyah. In 629, he ended up embracing the Islam and went to Medina after that treaty. With that in mind, he became a Muslim and he went there in order to live there. He started sharing his military talents and expertise at that time, which was a very important aspect to take into consideration. Another thing to note here is the fact that he went in the Mu'tah expedition. It was a raid designed to get booty from the Sasanian Persian army. Khalid ibn al-Walid actually took command here and managed to withdraw his team of people to safety.
People have absolutely forgotten the glory that came from war, the prestige of the warrior in those societies. And to be honest, in every single society up until today. Now it is glorious if you deny your manhood and you become a woman. Don't be a misogynist, don't be a sexist, be a feminist. It is exactly those people that are against Islam. It's hilarious, man.
He was awarded by Muhammad with an honorary title at that time. Later that year, and early 630, he assisted Muhammad in capturing Mecca. He was the leader for one of the two main attacks towards the city. He also defeated the Thaqif later that year. Khalid also had to destroy the Al-Uzza idol, which was a very important religious establishment for the Nakhla area. He was also appointed to invite to Islam other tribes in the region. Due to misunderstandings, he attacked them. Despite not doing the right thing in this situation, Khalid did not end up being punished by Muhammad in any way. With that being said, he was also focused on capturing Dumat al-Jandal, which was a very important oasis town at that time. He captured it and also brought a penalty onto the inhabitants. Of course, he also had the job of inviting others to embrace Islam, with the Balharith tribe actually doing that in the end. When that happened, most Arabian tribes did not stand with the allegiance to the Muslim state. Abu Bakr became the Muslim leader, and that's when he started working with Khalid ibn al-Walid. Khalid was actually dispatched to the Battle of the Najd tribes at that time. There were 6 main conflict zones. 2 were theirs. Khalid maintained the directive and guidelines that was imposed by his leader, and he did not follow that suit in a proper manner. That really goes to show the dedication that he had to his leader. He did operate independently, which made it a lot easier than ever for most people under his command to just do the right thing.
Wow.
The Battle of Bazooka is a very important example.
This is something that was so impressive to me as well in the movie The Message, because at first you simply have Muhammad and a handful of followers, and then the message of Islam spreads, and in the end they have a whole army behind them.
Of his tactics and prowess.
That's
he
crazy,
was able to battle a multitude of powerful enemies. After dealing with that, he started battling the Tamimite chieftain. He was appointed by Muhammad to be the collector of tax in that region. With that being said, Khalid encountered Malik and some of his troops. Khalid ibn al-Walid executed all his troops, and he also killed the chieftain. One of the interesting things about Khalid ibn al-Walid is that after pacifying Yamama, he went to capture the Sasanian territory in the lower Mesopotamia at that time. With that being said, the remaining parts of his army had only Arabs from the environs. At that time, Khalid was focused on the Euphrates River for resources, and more particularly the western banks. The first main battle in that place was Ubila, where Khalid managed to win. On top of that, he went onward to the western bank and battled Sasanian garrisons. He did capture al-Hira, which a lot of people believe to be a major capture during his campaign. He battled the cavalry, and then he entered the unwalled city. With that in mind, his army was also battling the villages in that region. They eventually captured the city, and the city was paying a tribute of up to 90,000 silver dirhams every year. He went to the Major Rahid meadow north of Damascus, right after the army went onward through the desert. He got there on Easter Day in 634. He assaulted a Ghassanid group at that time. With that being said, he and see.
Alright guys, this is it for today's video. Thank you so much for your recommendation, and I have to say yet again, you have to be an absolute liberal weakling, a soy boy of sorts, to not appreciate the bravado, the bravery of those men. Any man nowadays that is sitting on his couch getting fat whilst eating Doritos and playing PS5 and is not appreciating the man that died for his comfort is an absolute pathetic weakling. Yet again, for any human being that is in this comfortable position nowadays, we have to thank our ancestors for fighting. This is what they did. And you can see that nationalists, many patriots, they are proud, of course, of that war history. They're proud of their ancestors, that they fought for their freedom. But when it comes down to Islam, the West has a double standard.
Terrorists, bad, in Islam there is war.
Did you know that in human history there is war? Did you know that for America to exist, for liberal America to exist, you still have war? Don't you understand that this is an intrinsic part of the game of life? This is the beauty of Islam. I have to say yet again, it is the only religion that is complete. It is the only religion that has a social construct in place. It is the only religion that has a spiritual and a war practice in place. It is the only religion that can stand firm on its own 2 feet. Every other religion needs another concept additional to it. For example, if you look at Christianity, Christianity is the reason why we became secularized. It is truly the case. Christianity opened up the doors to liberalism, the division between state and church. This is already the downfall because it accepted that we need an additional government, a foreign entity governing besides the church. Within Islam, you do not need that. Within Islam, you have a holistic approach, for example, within the caliphate. Yet again, spirituality, politics, politics, warfare, everything is covered. No other religion can compare to Islam. Alright guys, but this is it for today's video. If you liked it, leave the thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed already, guys, please do so. And if you want to support this channel, all the links are in the description box below. Thank you so much for your ongoing support, guys. As always, may God bless you all. Much love and peace.